Okay, so I'm going to change out tensioner pulley and the idler pulley. So first off is get the belt off, and to do that, release tension. And there is a very convenient little square hole right there that you can fit your 3/8 ratchet in perfectly, and then it's going to lift up to release the tension, and then I can get the belt off. And then it looks like I have to take the whole tensioner off since I don't have access to the actual pulley bolt. Take the whole tensioner off, and then obviously on the idler there's going to be a bolt right there. Get those out, swap them out. Okay, so I was wrong. You need to go down with it. Oh, that thing is tight. Best place to get it off is the alternator, but if you let the tensioner back up, it will pinch the belt between the power steering pulley and the tensioner pulley. So it's best to get that thing off right away. It looks like the tensioner is going to come off with a 15 mil. Okay, so there's the tensioner. Looks like that'll be their mounting hole there, but it doesn't move back and forth or anything, but it makes a lot of noise, so it's definitely ready to be changed. I'm not going to be able to hold a very good camera angle on this one, but it is another 15 mil bolt, and it looks like it's just going to come right off there. Well, the idler pulley, if I stick my finger in there and go back and forth, I can feel just a hair of movement. You can hear it's making a lot of noise too, so definitely past due. Okay, in comparison, the new one, obviously there's no back and forth movement, there's no noise, but also it won't spin for more than maybe one revolution before it stops itself, and it's completely silent. Now, the new one came with that bushing that we see right there, but I'm almost positive that one does not come off. So maybe some vehicles do and some don't, and that might be a possible upgrade, is to have a removable one, but for now I'm just going to put it back on there and make sure there's no movement and call it good. Okay, so it's back on. Rolls, no movement. So that's good. Good time to check your other things. I don't feel anything in the alternator. Spins good, no noises, no movement. Same thing with water pump. Feels good. I already did the power steering pump. Same kind of test there. So let's put the tensioner back on. Well, changing the tensioner pulley shouldn't be that big of a deal, but we are going down to 13 mil. Simple enough. Turns good, no movement, no noise. Let's put it on the car. I think I got the notch lined up right. There's definitely a few more threads on there than it needs to have. I'm sure there's probably supposed to be a torque setting for that, but who cares? Well, I found a cheap replacement belt on eBay. It's one of those Goodyear gator backs, but since I have the old belt off, I want to make sure that it's the right one. So I'm just going to take both ends and stretch them. Make sure that my belts are about the same length. The original one feels a little more stretched, and that's fine. They should be a little smaller. The new one, I mean. So, good to go on a new belt too. And by the way, the used belt really isn't that bad. I mean, you'll see some cracks in it. Focus there. But it's still got some miles on it. I think I heard Chris Fix say 4 cracks per inch on each rib, and I definitely don't have that yet. But the belt was so cheap, I'm taking it off anyway, might as well replace it, right? So the used belt, what I'm going to do is leave it in the car in case the new belt breaks. You have a spare, you know, and it doesn't weigh nothing, won't take up no room, so just stash it somewhere and good emergency item. Actually had that happen to me on my 95 Chevy, sitting right over there, going down the road. The belt just let go, and I just happened to have one of my old belts in there. Saved my ass. So that's interesting. Look at that. I'm off half a rib. I wasn't able to get the new belt on. It was just too short. For some reason I could not get it over there. But it's like the Idler Tensioner pulleys are operating perfectly fine.